Hello and welcome back to Season 1 PGL Finals. I'm your host, Richard Lewis. We're about to get into a great game, and analysing it with me is, of course, Natu, 15-year veteran and married with kids, by the way. Yeah, so stop saying those threads about him. Yeah, we get it. He's a good-looking guy. Leave him alone.
That's usually the best excuse to get out from that, though. You know?
There you go.
But we've been
He gives great hugs,
say that?
that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
He gives great hugs.
He is a cuddler.
It's my disguise. Come on.
Okay. Guys, come on.
Can we not,
I used to
can,
coach
can we not
NIP.
do this, please?
Okay, sorry.
And Duncan Thorin
It's
Shields.
inappropriate, that impression
Yeah.
I was doing there. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty
So,
inappropriate.
the leading CSGO expert. Remember
I'm not going to say that now.
Okay.
Right?
So last season,
Your sponsor money was late. So, let's get into this one. We've saved the best till last. It's TSM versus Virtus.pro.
I mean, the event wasn't rigged or anything, Richard. It just happened to go that way. Yeah.
Just happened that way. TSM versus Virtus.pro. Obviously, the winner of this, one of them will be going straight through to the finals.
Yep.
And the other will be going into the lower bracket where they'll face Fnatic. So still great series ahead. But this one, we were analysing the sort of previous meetings and statistics. So obviously, we've got Dubai to go off. Great 3-2 win for Virtus.pro in a best of 5. Classic encounter. You know, it looked like Virtus.pro were going to run away with that last map, TSM battle back, and then fall at the last hurdle. You know, just a great final. But then you have to go all the way back to May. These two people, two teams in recent times have managed to avoid each other at events. So this is a rare treat indeed. We're seeing one of the hottest teams in Europe in terms of form. In Virtus.pro, who are on this hot streak right now. And, of course, we're seeing TSM, who, as you alluded to yesterday, one of the truly consistent teams in Europe. They're always there or thereabouts. So how do we see this one going?
So the cool thing about this is, like, back in April and May when they were facing each other, it was always so back and forth, always so close. Yeah. You could never really call who's going to be winner. And the fact that both these teams have such wide map pools. So, I mean, this is just an intriguing matchup to look forward to.
And what makes it so cool as well to me is that it was actually against Virtus.pro in the lower bracket of Star Series 12 back in April that TSM first made their steps to like breaking through. That was the time where they came through in the clutch. It was an overpass game, the decider. They got through in overtime to this incredible game where normally that's the kind of game VP would close out against them. And everyone was like, wow, they've overcome it. And it was following events. So when they started to win, they were winning tournaments. But what's interesting is a lot of people don't know this. But yes, TSM was always beating Fnatic. And yes, TSM won 3 events in a row. But in those 3 events in a row, they lost a best-of-3 series because the format of Face It was that the group stage was best-of-3. And they actually lost the upper bracket final of the group to TSM in Virtus.pro rather in very close fashion again. So what's interesting is when you look at it, yes, at the beginning of their run to become a top team, TSM beat Virtus.pro, and all the games were always backwards and forwards. Copenhagen Games had an amazing upper bracket final. Dubai was an incredible best of 5. But actually, VP, even during TSM's time as like maybe the top team, the one winning all the events, they were always kind of the kryptonite. Actually, they were the one team who could somehow consistently beat TSM. Now, obviously, TSM got a little bit fortunate. They didn't have to play VP very often, so that helps, especially if someone like Fnatic takes care of TSM, VP for you, or Na'Vi does, or whoever. But it makes me feel like, even though at the moment I think TSM, I have them higher in my rankings, I think overall I think they're a better team. I think VP is a really hard stylistic matchup for them.
Yeah, Natu, tell us why that might be. Duncan talking about matchups. We talk about this a lot in CS. So why is it that you think that might be the case?
I mean, it's because Virtus.pro is such a, like I pointed out before, they're very simplistic type of play where they're just going to be holding the same thing all over again. They're just going to be doing the same things and not changing up, relying on going the first picks and then just flying with it. And it feels like, I don't know, it's TSM more seems to be liking to play against a more strategic approach, I guess.
You know, I'm really intrigued to see how this one's going to go. Just because TSM, it feels to me that they're kind of sort of wrestling with their own demons at the moment in a lot of ways. You know, they know what it's like now to be Fnatic because what it was, what they were to Fnatic, in that they were the kryptonite and just wrecking them all the time. People were like, why did TSM keep beating Fnatic? They've now got that in the form of Envious. They've got their own nemesis. They haven't beat them in, what is it, 7 straight maps or whatever it is. So they've got that to wrestle with. And they've got the fact, you know, that they've missed out on making a final of a major when a lot of people thought that was going to be the run that was going to happen. They obviously have had Virtus.pro overcome them in Dubai when, you know, a lot of people said TSM kind of choked a little bit in that game. So it's I think they're in a position right now where they need to sort of be coming out all guns blazing. They really need a big tournament win under their belts real soon.
Well, here's the interesting thing about TSM. of all these elite teams, so you think of Envious, you think of Fnatic, you think of Virtus.pro, and then you have TSM, that's the other team within the 4 real elite teams that are a step above everyone else. The rest of those teams, yes, they've all won events this year, they've all done very well, but there's an insecurity in TSM. They're the only one of those teams that's never won a major. Every other one has had the hot period where at some point they were the major champion. For at least that day, they could be like, we're the best team. TSM's won the medium events. They've won good events, but they're the only one who is still lacking something. They haven't quite shown us that aspect. So they're the ones who have something to prove still. And like I say, Virtus.pro has beaten them a number of times. My big problem coming into this one, Rich, is I actually feel like Virtus.pro does have some sort of edge in this matchup. But I mentioned this to you at Gfinity. I have this rule, and I betrayed it at Gfinity. I have this rule. My rule goes, don't ever bet on Virtus.pro. Not because of what you're thinking, Natu. It's to do with CS. So I don't ever bet on Virtus.pro, though, because my biggest problem is, yes, their ceiling is one of the highest ever. They're so incredibly dangerous and dominant when they are just wrecking on maps. But I always feel like, part of my problem is because I talk to some of them, I don't think even they know when that's going to happen. They sometimes think, it's an off day for us, and then they just wreck everyone on Inferno, Mirage. Then other days, they're like, no, we're confident coming in this one. And those are the times they just give up crazy rounds, and suddenly they're losing maps. And so the problem is, that's the thing. Do I go with the analysis? The analysis tells me I should say Virtus.pro is going to win this series 2-1.
Yeah.
But the rule says stop betting on Virtus, but it never works. I've never predicted it. I've never bet on them the rare times they win the events.
Kryptonite as well.
Exactly. Anytime I do bet on them, they're like, all right, so maybe they hear Richard. Maybe they're like, listen, payback time, mate.
It's worth
the one thing we can do is mess up his analysis gig, you know. Exactly. So here's the thing. I'm going to go with the analysis. I'm going to trust analysis. I'm going to say I think Virtus.pro, as amazing as this series should be, as great as the trash talk was from Device and those guys, I think Virtus.pro should win this. But I think it's going to be great. This is the best matchup right now in CS. This is why I said it on Twitter. To me, this matchup is like champagne Counter-Strike. It's like when they play each other, it's not that it's like close because people are scared of stuff. They play to the highest level. Yeah. And each map, they're pushing each other backwards and forwards. And in theory, you can never predict, especially in a best of 3, who will win the series in terms of the individual maps. Now, in a best of 5, okay, you can talk about who has the deeper map pool, but map for map here, if they pick correctly, I think we can have 3 maps they're both really strong on.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the Virtus.pro lineup. We'll bring that up on your screens at home. And let's talk about some of the individual aspects of this
as a team. It's a cool team. I mean, I don't think I can come up with any other team that has changed so much without changing a single player. When you think about it, that you never know who's going to be calling for them, who's going to be the main opper, who's going to be the lurker, who's going to be. It's a consistent change that it just like they're just trying to find this ultimate form out of these 5 players, and I feel
I think one of the best things that actually happened to them was this sort of acceptance that look. Now that we've got Snacks and Bialy in, there isn't anyone else in Poland that's really going to bring anything to this team. I think obviously they did try out Manice like on 1 or 2.
And they had Mishu for one event. They had some stand-ins at times.
But like basically they understand that because of the limitations of the scene, this 5 has to work no matter what. So we've seen them have internal problems, some of which has been mitigated by them bringing in a coach in the form of Kuban. But ultimately, they know they're stuck with each other. It's like a family. It is like a family. It's like you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. You know?
I mean, it's Taz and the other daddy and mommy and then 3 kids with them.
I'll let you assign the gender roles in that particular one. I don't feel comfortable doing that.
I'm pretty sure Taz is the daddy.
I could imagine. Wow. I could imagine Taz with an apron around him, like mothering his kids. Off to school now, Bialy. Yeah. Now don't throw that apple at those other kids. Yeah. All right, Snacks, where's your apple?
Right, just before this goes any further, I mean, look,
all right, mate.
They have tried. They have tried a bunch of new things, and that's what's great with them. You know, we've seen how they've given Neo the AWP. Now, Pasha's been an AWPer, for pretty much throughout. That's how he made his name in CS:GO. It's how he rose to be one of the most sort of popular and iconic players. They've took that off him and given it to Neo. Shouldn't have worked, but it's actually rejuvenated them.
The thing is, I think the bigger change in this scenario where Neo's been picking up the AWP is that it's really freed Pasha. It's giving him a lot of room to work. He can just work around, do his own thing, and he seems to be really excelling at it.
Yeah, the problem Pasha had was, I mean, aside from some minor slumps towards the beginning of the part of this year, he was always a good fragger. It's never that he had a problem putting impact frags up. It's just that he was like too much of a lone wolf in some ways. Like you think of them, they're like a pack. When they play, they all swarm in on you, and it's so many aggressive aimers. That's what makes it so hard to hold a CT spot. The problem is, he would just go in by himself, and in a way, he was kind of predictable. Like people always joked, even other pros, that for someone who's so good at fragging, Pasha has the worst movement you've ever seen in CSGO. Because he almost moves just for his aim. He's trying to set up the shot, and he's just moving. He'd be moving in straight lines or just strafing side to side. He never looked like he had that like smooth forest type movement or Neon 1.6. He never had that sort of control. So it feels like he is someone where you very much have to use him like a missile. You have to like point him in the right direction, get everything set, wait before you fire, and then you just have to let him go. He's never going to follow tactics super in depth, so he needs a freer role, actually.
Yeah.
But it has to work within the team concept.
But I think that was one of the things that they identified. I know we talked about this on our show that we do, and they got a little bit, I think, upset with some of the comments that I made in particular.
That's been known to happen.
Yeah, which was just that, you know,
generally.
I was saying, you know, like I think Pasha, like the one thing he's never done historically particularly well is follow instruction. He's got a very set way about how he needs to play the game. He needs to be feeling it, you know. So when you come in with rigid tactics, he's not going to be the guy. He's never going to be that guy. So actually, you know, I think even though they're upset by it, there's also sort of been a little bit of acceptance there that maybe that was accurate because they've changed it and it's working for them. This is the best I've seen Virtus.pro in a long time.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is that they've sort of changed their philosophy. They don't have to rely on an op at all. Like they just don't need to. They have the rifling power. They play very simple. Just go flash once, go and plow out, get an entry kill, and just swarm the sites. I mean, it works so well for them. So they don't really need to rely on an op. So having Neo as an opper, I think is a good choice. When you need to have that, he's going to be good enough to make it work.
Yeah, and right now, this is no exaggeration. Them and Envious are setting the standard for T sides in CSGO. It's absolutely ridiculous what they're capable of doing. We're going to find out a little bit more about that. We're now going to go over to an interview with their coach, Kuban, who's with Papa Smurf right now.
A few questions. Yeah, we can hear each other now. Hello, Kuban. First time in Romania. How do you feel? You have a lot of fans here.
Yeah, we like the place. We feel similar to Polish. We like the fans. We like the crowd. So we feel like at home.
Recently, you've been growing in form. Like the analyst said, you've given the orb to Neo, and Pasha is lurking more on the maps. Who came up with the idea, and why?
After the defeat on the DreamHack in July, at the end of July, it was the Faceit finals. We lost in the early stage, so we decided to sit down together and switch the roles in the team, and it worked good. Like the month later, we actually placed third and at the major, and then we have won the Dubai event. So we are pretty happy with the switches we made.
Yeah, you won the Dubai event against TSM. You went from Group A to win Group A against TSM. So how do you think this matchup will end tonight?
I'm hoping to our team winning 2-1. Because it's usually they winning their maps, we winning our maps, and the final map is the one which we are supposed to win if we would like to win the game. So I'm aiming for 2-1 for us.
Great. Back to you guys.
So there you go. You can see they're confident that it's going to be a 2-1, but they are giving TSM some credit that they're going to take a map. Certainly a lot healthier respect there than what TSM was sort of joking around in their interview.
You say that, but there was a tweet from Pasha, and all I'm going to say is the word dildo was involved. So
well, you've said the word, so what else did it say? Or is it actually worse?
Round of applause. There's a lot of fans around here for that sort of thing. Listen, everyone needs to take care of themselves. That's what I always say.
Well, we know that. So
it just said we've got some of those for after the game, you know. So keep the lubrication around or something.
Right. I see. Well,
something like that.
No, but here's the thing as well. Like, just to make this serious point for just a moment.
That was a pretty serious point.
Yeah, obviously. But,
take care of yourself.
There's people who actually think that was like some sort of hateful remarks of TSM that they don't respect Virtus.pro. Like
some people just take jokes against Polish people as hateful remarks. I don't know what it's about. Listen, guys, it's all love.
Yeah,
one love.
Please,
one love. Mate.
Speaking of one love.
Yeah.
Please, world, be less salty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just saying.
We're having a bit of fun. If you want interesting interviews with a bit of trash talk and banter in there, don't come down on every player who makes like a fun joke. These guys all know each other. They're all super respectful of each other. They go out drinking with each other after events. Like, what, you think there's anything malicious there, then you're a clown. So there you go, I've said it. Get that out of the way. Let's take a look at TSM.
Whoa.
Okay. He said the C word.
I'm not signing on that.
No one wants your opinion now. Nice guy Natu over there. Anyway, let's take a look at TSM. You can see, obviously, the lineup they've got there and the win rates. Phenomenal win rate on Train. That they respectfully banned against Fnatic the other day. But again, this does include online results. Yes.
Playing Virtus.pro on Train would be it's a risk.
Yeah,
that would be a great game, though.
Yeah, it would be godlike. Like, let's hope it's in there. But you know, overall, this lineup, we said until Envious came along and kind of set a new standard with the picking up of Apex. And Kenny S, that this was man for man the most skilled individually lineup that had been assembled in CSGO. It's an assessment I personally agree with. We obviously talk a lot about Carrigan and what he brought in as a team leader, but like it's not like Fetish didn't have anything to work with back in the Dignitas days, was it? Like,
I mean, just look at Zipnix as well, one of the absolute best fragging support players in the whole game. And yeah, as you mentioned, Carrigan, among normal in-game leaders, like the guy who's not supposed to get as many frags but can provide some, he's one of the better fraggers. Obviously, it's skewed because Happy's like, I'm an in-game leader as well. It's like, yeah, okay, mate, okay. It's the other way around there, is that you're the star player who's sort of in-game leads. Like, that's an unfair outlier. If you look at the other guys, the Existence, Sean gets, Carrigan's a very good in-game lead in terms of fragging. Pronax.
Well, he made that 1v3 clutch to get them over the hump yesterday, and it was a hell of a clutch.
What separates him from a lot of them is that he's going to be that first guy on in, or one of the first guys going into a bomb site, so he really likes to lead up front instead of being the guy behind, relying on information that his teams are giving. You know, I can understand that because that gives you a more hands-on understanding of how the situation is unfolding.
Yeah, I mean, just any other highlights as well, because from yesterday, we talked a lot about Cage and B, and he was the hot and cold kind of player. Well, he seemed to be blowing relatively hot yesterday. I mean, it wasn't the heights of what he can achieve, but certainly he was making a contribution. So, I mean, how do we feel, he's going to have an impact here against Virtus.pro?
Yeah, he didn't play that great yesterday, because if you remember, in general, it was like, from what I remember, I think it was like Device and Zipnix on one map. It was like Dupree and maybe Cajun had something to do with that map, but overall it was a fairly even effort in terms of like they tag teamed it in other words on the different maps.
I just feel in a matchup like this where there's so many like raw aimers, entry fraggers, like Cajun B's got a big responsibility today. I
think so, definitely. But the main thing for me in terms of the skill matchup is like the ones that are more uncertain for me are some of the VP players. Like I know Snacks is going to be awesome. He's been really on a tear recently. Pasha, he's been pretty decent, but nothing crazy. Neo's had some down games that have been a little bit disappointing, and then Bialy, just for his whole career, is very up and down. He's like one of the most like, what would you say? The thing is, you say explosive, but that makes it sound like any time you could just go off in that sense. But it's more like erratically explosive like that. When he does go off, he's going to be... In fact, for me, Bialy and Cajun B are the obvious analogs there because both of them do have crazy games where they lead the whole team and they wreck the other opponent. The difference is they both can have the games as the down game and then the other guys have to step forward and provide the frags. Obviously, they do it on different sides of the game. Cajun B is mainly the CT side player. Bialy, a great T side player.
If you want to add a surprise factor, I would say Taz from Virtus.pro. I think he's been pretty solid recently on both the fragging department, but clutching, especially we saw in the PGL regular season or the group, he was doing some crazy things.
Yeah, been in a good place lately. Anyway, get your lube ready, guys, because we're going to throw over to TSM for their pre-match interview and see what they've got to say.
Hey guys, I'm here with Dupree from TSM. They played yesterday against Fnatic, managed to win 2-0. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
We played really confident in Counter-Strike yesterday, and that was really nice. Everyone played up to what they had to, and we played good as a team, and everyone was really good individually, so it was great to win.
In the past, you had some problems against your opponents now, Virtus.pro. What do you expect from this match, and have you prepared anything special?
Well, first of all, we're going to play our own game like we always try to do, and if that doesn't work, we're probably going to try and look to adapt to how they have turned up to the game. Apart from that, it's going to be really close, like it always is. We lost really close best of 5 against them in the final of the Dubai Invitational. So we want to get some revenge from that one. So yeah, it's going to be close as always, but I'm looking forward to a good game.
I'm not sure if you heard the coach of Fnatic. They want to meet you tomorrow. So what do you think about that?
Well, I'm going to take the challenge if we get there, obviously. It's always fun to play Fnatic, and it's always fun to beat them. So I hope we get there as well.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot for that. TSM, obviously, they talk. It's always fun to beat Fnatic, so they're getting
more modest there.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, perhaps the backlash on Twitter has made him think. But we are getting close to game time. You need to get into the zone.
Get fired up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. Look, he talked about confident, Counter-Strike that he's been playing. So we'll look at the past encounters and we'll see whether the statistics and the analysis sort of bear that out. So you can see that going back to the Faceit League, TSM had that 1-0 over them. Then there was a 2-0. Then we had
those first two are online, by the way.
Yeah, exactly, and they're online. Then we get to the meat of it. So Dubai, Virtus.pro again. Like I said, it's a great final. If you haven't watched it for whatever reason, go get the VODs. It's crazy. Then obviously PGL Season 1 again. We've got the 3-2 there, and then just recently in the Pro League again online, a 1-0. So. It's a little bit back and forth, but overall, you know, when they've had those big, important must-win series, it's Virtus.pro that have kind of shaded it a little bit. So I'm sure that's going to be on TSM's mind.
Yeah, the thing is, I actually do think, like I said, it's a phenomenal matchup. I think it's the best matchup where it can really go both ways, and it usually is an incredible game. But I actually think, as bizarre as this sounds, that the reason why VP is going to win is not only have they won recently, but they can actually make the map pool even better for them than it was in Dubai. So in Dubai, where they won 3 maps, they made a really uncharacteristic move by deciding to ban out Cash as their map, which both teams are a little bit shaken, but both sort of pretty decent. And instead they chose to allow Dust 2 to come through, which everyone knows is a phenomenal TSM map. And that was the map that TSM crushed completely. Yeah. So I think if they ban more sensibly, I think there's some obvious pick bans here. Like if I'm on the side
Virtus.pro have got to ban out Dust 2. That's
the obvious one there. Then they have the choice what they want to ban at that point in time.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm not really sure what the second ban will be. I think there's a lot of variants can go there. Maybe something like, maybe Inferno if they don't want to play it. Over on the TSM side, I think it's obvious what the 2 bans should be. I think the 2 bans 100% for TSM should be Train and Cobblestone. Those are the 2 they don't want to play.
Exactly.
Even though they're good on Train, they don't want to play this
So you're saying Train and Cobblestone, but Cobblestone over Overpass?
Thing is...
Definitely. I think they're good on Overpass. They like that map.
Yeah, but they're good on Train. The numbers bear that out.
A lot of them are online. And also, they got wrecked by Virtus.pro when they were in Dubai on that map.
In this matchup right now, TSM's issue is exactly the fact that they do not like playing Cobblestone.
Yep. So that has to be banned no matter what.
Yeah, they sort of have to just use that first ban on Cobblestone. But they shouldn't be playing Train either, because...
VP's the best Train team. I'm sorry, their CT side's insane.
I don't know if it's worth maybe having a gamble. I guess we'll see in a second. First thing we'll do, before we even get into that, because the Veto is going to be presented to us shortly, we'll have a look at the head-to-head. The 2 players we've picked out for you. There's a theme going on here. What we've done is we've picked out the entry fraggers for both teams. So Dupree, who had an amazing performance yesterday on Inferno, and of course Bialy, the player that we've talked about, who is known for being sometimes a little bit erratic. But I'll be honest with you, Duncan, I'm a huge fan of Bialy in the terms of his skill set. I think he's one of the he's my kind of player in that sense. I like the fact that he is aggressive. He will go to places and he will take that shot every time. He will play off that spawn and go for that pick. And if he misses it, it never enters his head that he's been outplayed or outbrained or out-aimed. It's always something went wrong there. He must have got a quicker spawn. And he keeps going back and back and back and back. He never stops. And that's why I think he has these ridiculous kind of disparities in his performance. Like one time it either doesn't work and his scoreline's bad, but when it works, it's terrifying.
For me, he's the one who's like the engine on the T side. Like on CT side, that's where I think of Snacks. He's taken over the game, clutches, crazy holds. But on T side, that aggression comes from Bialy. He's the guy where you think of his style of play, it's always like rushing into 2 guys with like super sick AK bursts, like 2 bullets to the head. And it's like, he's one of those players where sometimes his aim looks like cheats. It's that good. Yeah. Just brutalizes 2 or 3 people super fast, and that's intimidating when you play against that. If a guy can take a certain aim duel over and over again, I think usually of like mid on Inferno, if that guy can take that aim duel and win it against you even when you've got crossfires, that really messes with your head. Like, do we just give up the position entirely and now they're taking more of the map? It forces the CTs to make difficult decisions they don't have to make against a lot of players.
Dupree, on the other hand, is a player... has always been a solid rifler, has more often than not pretty good numbers, but recently he's really stepped it up. He's actually getting a lot of like 30-plus kills maps, and I think it just feels like his aiming has just stepped up the notch, and that's helping him a lot.
I think that's what it is. So the first phase in his evolution to where he is now is obviously Carrigan giving him that license and just not being like Fetish. Fetish used to say, he was very stuck into the way that we used to play in Counter-Strike Source, which was, never push through a smoke. It's a crazy idea to do it. You don't know what's going to be on the other side. Try and utilize a one-way smoke, play the percentages. What Carrigan did when he came in, and all the players in TSM have said this is, do the unthinkable, do the unexpected. If it works for you, that's a round with one right there, just on one move.
They've started saying the unthinkable.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the unmentionable. So we've got that as the first step in his evolution. But you're right. I think now he's starting to get this really nice, crisp aim, and he is becoming a very well-rounded entry fragger, no doubt one of the best entry fraggers in Europe. So anyway, we'll look at the Veto process. We'll get to see where those two players are going to be plying their trade, and you can see...
Shocking.
We've called it... Well, actually, no, because Overpass was in there. And actually, it was Virtus.pro that took it out.
Here's the part I hadn't thought of. Yeah, you have two bans, but obviously you banned one first. So by banning Cobblestone, which was the obvious, it had to be banned for TSM. It's their permaban anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
VP, Dust 2's their permaban. Okay, they both followed suit there. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, in TSM picking Inferno, they are phenomenal on it, but that means that VP then have train there. Now, listen, I definitely think TSM can play it, but I think VP, that's one of their maps I feel like they're unbeatable on. They're just so good. They almost never lose the big match there. And then going into, as a decider, Overpass, I think this is a great series. Because actually, these are maps... Oh, Cash, rather. These are maps where, when I look at these now, I can't actually say, aside from Train and Virtus.pro, I think the other two are really wide open. Like, I don't think you can just say, because you're TSM, oh, we're definitely going to win Inferno against Virtus.pro. Not necessarily, mate. That's a map where we know Virtus.pro gets it cooking on that T side, and they roll people over. So map 1 and 3 have the chance to be very sexy for the series.
Oh yeah, Inferno, Virtus.pro, very aggressive CT side, plowing down that banana. And that's usually what's going to be causing trouble. The TS always has been that way, especially Elite Bast this year. It's always been a problem where when the opponents is playing super aggressive, it seems like TSM just not finding the right rhythm. So that could be the thing. But at the same time, Virtus.pro seems to be a bit of a hit or miss team on Inferno. So
they are. I mean, look, I definitely feel TSM are the strongest on that particular map. I think you probably put that in the win column straight away. Train.
Here's the thing. If TSM managed to win Train here, not only will that really send a message to VP for the future of the series, but remember, this is double elimination tournament, and the finals are best of 5.
Yeah.
So if these two teams were to face again, which would also obviously be awesome in a best of 5, suddenly changes the whole dynamic. Now does VP allow training? That's something they can do to put something in VP's head, whereas at the moment, VP historically have done very well on these maps against them.
Yeah, so I mean, this is where I think, I think Train's going to be a hell of a lot closer than maybe people are thinking. I agree with you. I think Virtus.pro are the superior team on this map, but I think TSM they've definitely got something in the locker when it comes to Train. I think they'll relish playing it. They'll be close. That's going to be real. It's going to turn on a couple of rounds. Cash, I mean, we talked about this a lot. Like, after the 16-0 against Kingwin,
I have seen a lot of losses by VP on Cash.
That was the catalyst. That was the catalyst for Virtus.pro making all of these changes. You heard it there from Kuban. This isn't something I'm theorizing and making up myself. That was their lowest ebb. They were like, okay, it's not been working for a while, but we've just been 16-0'd by a team that arguably isn't even tier 1. They haven't got any achievements.
No, of course not, no.
So at that, and you saw there was infighting. The players weren't even talking to each other. Kuban was having to mediate mid-game, after game. That was where they made these changes. Now, since then, they went to Dubai, and I think they had a storming performance against Envious on Cash. Now, and we know how good Envious are on there. So there's an argument to say maybe they've put the demons to bed. But I agree with you, Duncan. I think this is still a problematic map for Virtus.pro.
I think this is worrying, actually, because I was thinking it wouldn't be going to Cash. What I thought it would happen here is, with the pick bans here, okay, it makes sense you'd ban Mirage if you're TSM because we know how phenomenal VP are on it. But the one I didn't get was I never thought VP would actually ban Overpass. I thought of the two, I'd rather play Overpass. Because you get that. Listen, you get a series if you're VP. We're playing Overpass and Train guys. Awesome. We've got a great chance to win 2 of those maps. Whereas Cash, I actually feel like if I had to just do the maps in isolation, I'd say like Inferno, slight edge TSM. I think VP's very good on it. I think Train, I'm going to give like a decent edge to VP. But the problem is I would give the slight edge on Cash actually to TSM.
Same.
They're not amazing on it, but they have certain spots and certain ways of playing. Like we all know, that's like a Zipnix map. He sits in that B site. Is that A? Which one's the left site? Is that A or B?
A.
It's A.
A. Okay, so he sits in the A site around the quad box, the bomb site box. He's one of the best I've ever seen there. When the site's been overtaken, the other guys in the site are dead. He's facing 1 or 2 people. He's absolutely phenomenal at holding and getting the first 2 guys and delaying them. He's really, really good at playing around the smokes there. So I'm actually going to give the edge on Cash there. So basically, here's my problem. I remember I was going to go with the analysis fixture. I wasn't going to go against my rule about betting on VP. So So theoretically, I have to believe VP is going to win Inferno if they're going to win 2-0, because I don't think they're going to win Cash. So do I really think that's going to happen?
Well, let's do it then. So, Duncan, your calculator-like brain, you sort of process the numbers. Now, you give me your prediction.
Right. Inferno, I do, like you did, a slight edge to TSM. I think they're going to take it. Train is going to go to VP. But Cash, I mean, Virtus.pro has been so like up and down on it. And TSM, from having talked with them previously, I remember around Cologne, they were actually not really comfortable playing the map. They said they were having had a lot of troubles in practices, not really working out. But still, when I was in IP, they wrecked us like 16-6 or something on it.
So some would say not the toughest achievement, but Duncan would say that, not me.
Probably, yeah. Well, you did it, didn't you?
No, I'm just putting that. He was too busy thinking. I had to say it. I had to step up. That's what you do. You got to look after your body.
Cash is a total coin flip for me right now. I mean, it could go either way, but I'm gonna go TSM instead of yeah.
See, this is my problem.
2-1 TSM.
Yeah.
Historically, VP was great. They always used to play Cash very close against TSM. They'd always just edge it. So history tells us that. The problem is, when I think of the last 3 or 4 months, because like we mentioned, a lot of that history was like 5 or 6 months ago, which can be an entirely different world in CSGO where you play 10 LANs in that amount of time. I'm actually kind of feeling if I just go map by map, which is usually how I try to do the analysis, I'm thinking it's going to be like a slight TSM win Inferno, a confident win on Train for VP, but I've got to say I'm thinking it's going to be a slight win for TSM on Cash. So actually, even though I was coming into the series ready to break the rule, do the VP pick, I'm going to pick against them. I'm going to say TSM win 2-1. Close series, though.
And that's the way I'm thinking. I think it's going to be super close on Train. VP just to nick it. But overall, 2-1 to TSM, like Hansel. They're so hot right now. Thanks a lot for your thoughts, gentlemen. Anyway, we're going to get into it. Finally, this is it. It's TSM versus Virtus.pro. Last game of the day. It's going to be cast by Henry G and Sadakist. Take it away, boys.
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, welcome to it. It is going to be the last game. Oh, I think Device left something here.
Oh, it's not the lube, is that?
I guess we found it. All right, well, we'll see if it plays out. If they go to Train, I actually think, and based on recent performances, that they could win that against VP, but that is VP's best chance into the series. I look for the 2-1 as well for TSM. I don't know about you.
Oh, it's difficult. I think Inferno, if Dupree can carry on that T form, they're going to be starting on the T side here. Dupree was doing like a huge performance there. He's doing like, what, 26 frags on that series yesterday. So I expect him to go big on this one. If he can and carry that through the T side, they'll take this one. Train, you know, is not as clean cut as you think.
Absolutely
We talked to Device going into this one, and he said like they played them online recently on Train. They did start on the CT side, which they will be getting today, and actually beat VP 16-2 going into this one. So
that's right, and that was post-patch as well, because I asked Device that. I said, was that CT post?
They definitely know what VP could bring to the table, and they're going to have that CT start again, so we know they can be handy on this map. So everyone's saying that VP will run away with it. Obviously, it's different conditions, online games and stuff. But
so what's your prediction?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to say 2-0 TSM, you know.
All right, I say 2-1 TSM. We're both with TSM on this, but this series, as Thorin said, it really is one of the best right now in Counter-Strike. It can go either way. We've seen it go either way this year as well. Star Ladder, it went to TSM, knocked VP out of the tournament. That was back in March. Obviously in Dubai, it was the other way around, and that one a little bit more important. So it's going to be an awesome series. I think this could actually almost be the series of the weekend, and potentially it could still be the finals as well, because let's not forget there's a double elimination aspect to this. What this does mean is that Fnatic are guaranteed they have to play at, well, they could play one tomorrow, but that would mean they're out. They have to play 2 games just to make it to the finals. Whoever wins this gets a break. They get the morning off. They get to relax before a best-of-5 finals. Plus, they get the map in hand, which does give them a much easier day tomorrow. So it has some huge perks.
Absolutely. But concentrate on the game at hand right now. So as I mentioned before, VP, CT start on Inferno. They play a very technical game in terms of the grenades on this side. They actually are very good at stifling terrorist teams here. But interesting to see how they actually approach this one. Obviously, we talk about it a lot with the Silence M4s going into this one. Banana control, not so, it still is viable, not as viable as it once was with the Silence guns. A lot of players opting to use the M4A4 these days. But that's going to be interesting to see how they approach this one going into this game. Obviously, one of the biggest derbies we can actually imagine here. It really is a classic game of CS coming up. But as I said before, Dupree really impressed me yesterday with his T-side picks. He goes into that boiler room and seems to find AK headshots every single time. He's finding like 1 or 2 frags around, it felt like, yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Dupree, in the second game that we saw them in yesterday, in that best-of-3, which went 2 maps against Fnatic, he actually was low in terms of total kills. But again, it was the impact that he had inside the B side on Dust 2. So I think you're right. We have to look toward him. I also said I think Zipix is a guy that stepped up considerably lately, but KGB is the most consistent player, and I look to him to be very stable in this series as well. He's going to have to be. And again, we do start on Inferno, which they beat Fnatic on yesterday, obviously speaking about TSM. But they've made some changes on it. They're not as aggressive in that banana approach. And again, an economic battle in this map.
When VP get rolling, though, it's interesting the setup they go for. They actually run snacks on the AWP. We actually casted this online, remember, at PGL, and it was actually, he was really scary to watch on that banana with the AWP. He's actually one of the stronger AWP players on this map. It's kind of weird considering the restructure recently suggested that Neo would be the AWP going forward. And so this map, normally Snacks will be running with it, and we can see we will be going into the first map. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you bring some hype to the room, make some noise as we go into this first map. VP starting on the CT side, TSM will be T's, and we go into this best of 3 series.
And we'll start it off as well with Armor coming out for TSM on 3 players, at least Dupree, Device, Cajun B. They'll all equip themselves with the Kevlar, smoke on Kerrigan, as well as a flash. And they actually did buy out Zipic spot armor as well, so they've got everyone, barring Kerrigan, who will be the utility man.
CT so far going for a 2-on-2 setup. It's going to be Pasha at the top and middle. He's firing off his P2000, see if he can inflict any damage there. Unable to land any shots so far, but the T's at the bottom of Banana, so if I'm not going to be rushing or going in as a pack just yet. Cajun B slowly waking his way up through the arches, but Snacks waiting at the top there. The silence USP is holding an angle, getting information, being able to fall back, and as the T's get control of the T apartments now.
Snacks is waiting for anyone to push forward. Decoy grenade thrown. Snacks knows that it's a decoy, obviously, at this point, so he'll push forward on this. Interesting choice. Thinking potentially this is going to be a fake, and he actually catches Cajun B's head above the logs. So now he's taken over Banana. Device goes back to potentially look toward it, but they've got to go, and they're going to go onto the A site. In toward the pit, though. It's double stacked right now from Virtus.pro, and they've picked up all the kills required, and all the kills so far until Dupree gets one back, but they're stuck in a crossfire, and it's just a blender of body parts. And TSM, they're going to fight forward with them, though. Look at Dupree, and they catch off Snacks on the return. Apparently, the blender doesn't blend TSM. Yeah, massive malfunction. But they do still have Bialy in the pit, and it comes to a one-on-one. 6 HP and 2 for Bialy. 8 total across 2 players, and with 25 seconds, lots of time for this bomb to make it. Dupree's running it to beat. Bialy might just get there in time. No, he's actually stopped rotating. Himself. He might have gotten to CT spawn just to catch him on the way into the site. Instead, now Dupree has the advantage because he'll be able to put the bomb down and play the time. But again, it's the shadow of a bullet that'll kill either of these players. And Dupree, is this a little bit predictable? Goes toward Emo in this situation. But no kit does mean, oh, I take that back. Bialy's got a kit. And he's going to push toward the site. And if Bialy checks this accordingly, he might find exactly what he's looking for. It's a matter of whether or not Dupree hears it, and he actually baits it out. Dupree, he never even spots it, Bialy, and TSM will take the first round.
So we talked about Dupree going massive yesterday, and what a time to go big then. They lose the first few frags. Snacks pushing down Banana. Actually a perfect play by him, getting the first kill down there and actually giving the call off. Okay, they're coming towards the A-bomb site now, guys. You can initiate the full stack. That's the headshot we're talking about. And that round should have been VP's. They actually locked it down coming out of there, but Dupree steps up and finds 4 huge frags. He's on 33 HP. I don't even know how he got these next few frags. They were retreating in this scenario. Goes down to 7. And still somehow gets these 2 frags. Absolutely phenomenal from him. And now we do have the force buy coming in from VP. They're going to have P250s, armor boards, and then we have 3 SMGs for the TSM players as well. Dupree and Device on the rifles. Going to a much slower player. They do get to the top of Banana now, and Cajun B opening it up, taking down Snacks towards the B side.
And they'll just sit and wait as well to see if Neo will push forward. The smoke is still in place at the top of the Banana. But no point rotating away. More picks the better against these pistols and armor that Virtus.pro do have. And TSM, they're still looking toward this A site. Zipix is here, but they've brought Pasha to a more passive position toward the A site. In fact, they're going to stack him with Taz, and Bialy's inside Boiler. So typical VP getting very aggressive on that right approach to the bomb site. But Device has found at least one. Pasha gets back into Dupree. The man who turned the last round on its head, but Kerrigan, is he going to go down? He does. He looks forward, and because he ran out of ammo, the knife was out. And it gave Pasha the kill. Luckily, they've managed to pull those back, but it's still an awkward situation because Device has 6 HP. Bomb's now just going down, but Neo's getting closer, and he's not coming from the standard approach. Zipix is in good position, though, within the pit with the SMG. And the nade will do damage to Neo, but where he's on 100 and with armor, it won't do enough. They'll still have to make sure they play this safe. And keep in mind, he's also got a rifle, so it's lucky that Device has an AK because this Galil could be absolutely pivotal against the SMGs. And he misses that first shot. That's dangerous. Again, he's so low on HP. So Device has to bail out of this, but it has bought them enough time. And without a kit, Neo's going to have to run as well. And he may just catch Zipix trying to chase him. That would be at least 1 kill the way of Neo. And one less gun for TSM, but one more round.
Neo does get taken down by Device then. It does come down to a pretty awkward round there for TSM, but the headline is they get another round on the board, go into 2-0 and survive the force buy from VP. That going to pit them onto pretty much the full eco now. We can see Bialy actually saving a decent bank of cash. He's on 3,700, but this is where it got interesting. Pasha killing one, headshotting Carrigan as well, falls back, almost got knifed in this scenario, but somehow did take down the second one as well. So a little bit of a hairy round there, but they do bounce back. AK's being purchased this time, 4 of them, and just Carrigan on that recon play this time. He's got the MAC-10 in hand, allows him to go into certain choke points and not give too much away if he does run into the stack. So I'd imagine a much slower approach this time, but look at the stack coming in from VP. 4 players now towards our mid area. Carrigan, like I said, leading the charge here, working out with the stack as he's given that call off and managed to get 2 frags there, make it 3. Fantastic stuff there from Carrigan, opens up the round very nicely there.
Very well done as well. Nastia with love, apparently, and she's in the crowd, so she'll be loving that as he looks now for the ace. 4 down, and it's KGB that'll get it, but it doesn't matter because TSM now have secured their 3rd round. But guns will come up from Virtus.pro. Again, that second round force buy, what does it leave them with in terms of utilities? No kits. They've got a decent amount of grenades to work with, so they'll be able to play those out, and very important on this map. But no kits.
There's the replay from Carrigan. We talked about that recon play. His job really is to work out the stacks up, but he's dealt with it himself and gets there's 4 MAC-10 kills in the end. So fantastic work from him. But yeah, like you said, difficult buy now for the CTs. They have 5 rifles, no kits, and they do have full smoke grenades, only 1 incendiary. So again, probably going to be looking for early frags here, and this is what I'm talking about. So 3 players sent towards the B-bomb side, trying to lock down that early push from the T. Snack's going to be leading the charge this time, right down to the bottom, and he should be able to hold that area off quite a considerable amount of time here, considering you have 3 smoke grenades after his one going there as well. So they're just trying to filter the terrorists up towards middle now. They can probably sacrifice a man going back towards the A site and pit 3 back on there now.
That deep smoke, though, does let Snacks push very deep, like you're saying, and that means TSM's got to basically limit themselves to just middle. A smoke now on the left side of mid means they could wrap toward Bialy in the pit, but Taz has gone inside the site. In fact, Carrigan, he may want to go through this smoke, and Pasha's the one that's waiting for it with the M4. Bomb's in the hands of KGB, though, and he's going to stick with Device. They still want to try and get some map control toward Banana, but Snacks is in a great position toward this tree. And not only that, still has Neo close enough by to support, but is Neo going to get caught toward the arches as he runs back down? He thinks better of his decision. Snacks will pop out on that timing, and it's only 1. It's responded by KGB. So 4 versus 4, 28 seconds left. They don't necessarily have to rotate off of A too soon, and Pasha chooses not to, takes down Dupree, and it brings it back to a situation where it's sustainable now for Virtus.pro. Rather than splitting into 2 on each site, they're going to get all the kills, in fact. Bomb goes down, it's out of the hands, 15 seconds. They have to recover that, let alone find all the kills, and that's not going to happen. It's Taz to close it out, and Virtus.pro take the first gun.
Yeah, really nice defensive start there stance from VP there, holding really far back towards the middle, towards the bomb site, and now we can see full buy coming in. The Device could be picking up the AWP as well, but just to highlight that, they pushed down to Banana, kept the smokes down there for so long, and then the TSM tried to retake it, did get the frag exchanger, making it to 4 and 4, but decided to go back up middle. Taz responding, getting the bomb down here. Some great play from him. Bialy holding the pit. Takes down Carrigan. That's the first round now for VP. So fighting back in this series. I'm going to, like I said, Device picking up the AWP. So a change of pace here. VP not losing too many players now, but the boost coming in. Expecting that to work out for them. Snaps makes his way to the car. There it is. He approaches it very cleverly, though. Not be giving his frag away just yet.
He's actually looking in the right spot and gets it just barely as he took a hefty amount of damage. A headshot hits him down to 12 HP, but in the end, it's Snacks that's perished, and it will give the man advantage to TSM. Neo desperate to push forward and recover what remains on top of that corpse. They'll throw out the Molotov to hold off TSM to try and gain back that Banana control. That'll allow them to leave 3 players on A, but they're timidly doing so because Pasha, again, has to fade slightly off that arch side.
This is a real problem for VP now. The man disadvantage, they're playing very passively as well. They have lack of information. TSM just going to keep buying their time and making sure they use up all the utility for VP as they make their way up to the top of middle. Now looks like it's going to be a quad and apartment split going into this one. Device, it's quite low HP. He's given the AWP to Carrigan. He's burning away there, but manages to survive.
Still in that pit, though, and takes down Carrigan. It's so hard to find this shot against the pit player. Finally, a smoke gets deployed, and TSM will come in with numbers, but not with HP, and that's the problem as Virtus.pro They will not let them anywhere near the bomb site. Pick up their second round, and now the economy is limited for the terrorist side.
Yeah, fantastic crossfire there coming in from VP, reading the situation perfectly, allowing themselves to stay true to the bomb site and the pit, just working towards them. BO3 finding a nice little headshot through the smoke as well there to do some big damage to the terrorist side. That's going to mean they're going to be on pretty much a full eco here. They've got some Desert Eagles and some P250s, but Dupree will be going in with the armor as well. But this is the time where Snacks gets the AWP, something I was discussing before. He can normally take this almost anywhere, but it seems this time we'll be going towards the mid area. And he's sending 2 players as well. They're going on the very aggressive stance here. And this is normally a tactic you'll see from most teams at this sort of level. When they know the eco's incoming, they can just actually lock it down and get the other team on tilt. Just get the round over as quickly as possible. The ult does go down for Snacks, so obviously trying to recover that before they finish his round off. Occasion remaining, he will get dealt with as well. And we go to 3-3. So that's 3 clean rounds for VP in a row now. I assume this is the buy, but it's not going to have an AWP this time for TSM.
They will for Snacks, though.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. He went towards Banana this time. This is when he can start being mobile, working out what he can do with the map.
Quite obviously, this round, as we see, he's the lowest player on the screen. He's got the spawn for mid. So watch him to try and pick the stairs immediately.
This could be really viable for him as well, considering there's no AWP on the T side either.
They're not. They are going to put 2 players there, and they're there a little bit late. Snacks is in position if he hits the shot, but no, he's not wide enough. And even though there's no smoke, they spotted the bomb. He's definitely spotted the bomb. He knows they have to go back for it, and when Cajun does, he's there. And that will give the first kill to Virtus.pro. And look how aggressive he gets down to middle, staring across to the top of alt mid. But instead, it's going to be BO3 who finds Dupree walking up from Boiler, and TSM are just walking into traps everywhere at this point in time. No map control. And very early picks given up again in this round, as Virtus.pro look to take the lead immediately after losing the pistol.
That's such a big play for Snacks. After getting that first pick, still has the audacity to face in the second mid, but it's quite smart if you think about it, because obviously no T is going to face that with an AK. They're kind of waiting for him to fall back, took his chance there and actually survived, and goes into the 5-on-3. TSM now trying to get up to middle, and Snacks hits another one. I think he does damage to Device as well. BO3 takes him down. Zipex now in the 5-on-1 situation. He's been isolated in that boiler room.
1 versus 5 for Zipex, so he won't even get the first kill to start things off. And Virtus.pro take the lead right away.
Absolutely. This is one of the few maps that we see Snacks with the AWP. I spoke about how powerful we can be on it, and that's testament to that, really. Pick up another few frags there.
Money's huge as well for Virtus.pro, because they kept 5 alive in the last round, 4 before that, 4 before that on round 5 as well, and 4 before that. So in the last 4 rounds, they've managed to kill 3 people. TSM, that's it.
So we can see the save buy coming in. It's more of a quasi buy, I guess. Cajun B getting the body armor. Same with Dupree, the Tech 9s as well. They have got 1 smoke to play with. It looks like they'll be going towards that banana control once again. There's going to be 3 CTs waiting for them. Neo fancies his chances. This one, they chuck the Molotovs down. T's forced to go back towards the steps there, and he will be smoking them out of position as well. This is a disastrous for the buy, well, the semi-buy from TSM. They're going to be isolated and have to go back towards second mid here.
They need to find a way to contend banana, because they're losing it so early. Snacks and Neo are getting so aggressive.
Well, they had the AWP that time, and they got the pick on.
That's right, yep.
But the point of the matter is they actually went back to the A side and didn't get a single kill after that one. It put Device to solo HP, and weren't really able to do much of it. And now they're going for a more aggressive play here. I'm not really sure they have to commit to this, but when you can pull off those kind of kills, why not? Neo getting 3 there. Device shuts him down, but that's actually fantastic from Device. Gets another one, and they have a real chance now to get the bomb down towards B.
Yeah, they can beat them there. Taz is going to try and rotate through CT, but Neo, that was pretty swift as he turned back to hit the 3rd. Nonetheless, Device is in position. Does he have the safety of getting it in place? He does. Taz is not able to spot him, but watch for Pash as he walks up. Banana pre-fired and actually hit, but Zipex goes down in the end. It leaves it all on Device. The man who started this comeback in the round with 2 kills already, 3 to go, has the AWP picked up, but no armor. And that's going to be a huge issue against 3 rifles, one of which is an AK. And as he sits on the spools, they try and smoke him out of position. They're getting closer. Damage done, but he manages to get at least 1 kill, but burns alive as he tries to escape, and Pasha will secure it with not only the kill, as Taz will get the defuse. It makes it 5-3.
That shot though from Device, that was pretty crazy for his spools there, but we saw Neo go for that aggressive push down the T-steps. He had smoked it off as well, so perfect flashbang, finds 3 frags, but the headline is really that Device gets those 2 kills and the bomb down as well. It's pretty much all they wanted going into that one, and you can see a very decent pool of cash going into this. Device picks up the AWP once again. We can just enjoy that play once more from Neo. Fantastic stuff from him getting the frags, but this is where it kind of fell apart as he went down to Device as he pushed through the smoke. So no AWP for VP this time. It's actually a more expensive round for them that. And Device will be working the picks once more. We saw him be successful towards B, but unable to convert that one into a victory. As this time, only 2 players from VP going towards the B bomb site. Pasha just spraying down. He hasn't landed any shots just yet though.
Virtus.pro getting very aggressive as well in terms of map control. Again, they started the push onto the apartments that time. They've gone passive since, but Snacks is still at the top of Banana. This time he's been displaced slightly. Neo is, in fact, all the way back inside the bomb site, which we haven't seen that commonly from their setup. Oddly enough, though, TSM don't challenge it. A deep smoke comes out, and they're limited back to the A side in the end regardless, and it's with a minute left, so it's even more time bought for Virtus.pro as Kerrigan looks to try and find a pick toward mid. Needs to be careful, he's holding the bomb. Pasha's all the way back near library, so won't catch him from the arch.
It's interesting these CT setups are allowing teams to have mid control completely these days. It seems like it's kind of developing this way that CTs prefer to go very passively and have these crossfires set up as TSM look like they're going towards the quad area. Going to have one player in apartments as well. There comes the execution, 30 seconds remain.
Fast and swift, smokes everywhere. That does limit Bialy's positioning inside the pit this time. Taz is still there, though, to be able to pick up one. He might catch another. No, turned back, and an excellent shot from Xyp9x. Still, though, problems ensue because they've got the position from Pasha inside the bomb site. It won't stop cajunb from putting down the bomb, though. And that will leave it in a 4-on-3 post plant, but Pasha's quickly on the scene. And with low HP on the player inside pit, Dupree is going to go down as well, and Pasha's got the hat trick. It's left to just cajunb. And he eventually will get at least one into Snacks, but the fire in place, he's got to stand within it. And Pasha closes it out with 4 massive kills.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. They were huge. It looked like TSM had that round tied up. They got the first entry kill onto the pit, and then Pasha comes to life somehow, picks up those 4 kills. A great individual display of skill there. That was fantastic from him. 4 kills, and then they secure the last kill on the apartments with the Molotov going down. And then it's a pretty simple defuse from there. But that's 6 in a row, I believe, for VP so far. And you can see that replay here. That's so fantastic. Look at the position. This second shot is what really impressed me there. Bang. Device goes down, and the spray through the truck here. And the last player really didn't stand a chance there. cajunb getting Molotoved off, and then the spray down comes in from Pasha.
He leads the way now with 13 kills as well. Bialy not far behind on 10. And both those players inside the A site, I think, paints a pretty good picture. Although the other aspect of that is that they've had to walk into that trap because they can't get Banana in their possession. And again, this time with guns, they're getting annihilated. The same 2 players we just mentioned. Finally, Taz will join the party, but takes down Xyp9x. Leaves Device in another 1-on-5 situation. And stuck in mid, they're going to call a pause. This is the right call from TSM. They have to. This is the most lost I've seen them look in a long time on a map. Device, though.
Okay.
Device, though? What is that? Snack should have had that kill easily, and now it's down to a 1-on-2. So maybe it's perpetual that when the moment is the pause is called rather than the pause itself is when the turnaround happens. Nonetheless, Taz waits for it. And although it's pretty, it's not effective. It will be now 7 rounds for Virtus.pro, and TSM definitely need this timeout.
What's interesting what VP are doing so far, they're almost luring the T side into a false sense of security, that mid area. I was talking about it before, playing those very passive setups, leaving mid completely open there. And they wanted the Ts to think that was a comfortable position for them. They could just run up and keep getting that positional control. But that time they actually showed the aggression towards both crossfires there, and it's cleaned up. The Ts tried to run straight up mid through the smoke, in fact, just to try and get the early positional control and have time to play with their execution. But look at this, Bialy and Pasha crossfire there. Device made it interesting with what, 3 frags there, but not going to amount to much really, considering they lost the round as well. And the pause comes in. It's probably a good time because right now TSM have only won the pistol in the next 2 rounds after that. Haven't really done much.
The interesting thing with Inferno is, although TSM have had decent results on it, it's never really been that convincing to me. It's always close games, and in this case, it's slipping away early. So it goes to train after this as well. And that's the map that on the analyst desk they thought VP could take. So much like Thorn said, if it was going to go 2-0 to Virtus.pro, it would start right here, right now. They would steal Inferno, and then that would be it.
Let's have a look at the frag board while it's up there. Pasha, 14 frags for him. He's had some really big rounds there. That one with on the A-bomb side as well was absolutely huge. So good work from him so far. Bialy not far behind on 12. Device definitely leading the charge with 11 frags on his team as well. So round number 11. Still 5 to go over TSM, so they're not out of it just yet. We know these pauses do work out for these top teams. They have got a buy available here as well. AWP hasn't had too much impact. We saw that 1 kill towards Banana for Device, but I think they're going to be better off the 5 rifle setup, working out whether they can get that mid control again, and just trying to execute. It has come down to some anomalies there. That Pasha round on the A site, that doesn't happen every single time, right? He's not going to find 4 frags after you get the first 2 entries, so they definitely can keep going how they are. It's just need to make sure they're working together and getting the frags back quicker and stop allowing those big plays to come in. But this time, Snacks has got that AWP once again. He has been changing his position up, and it's exactly what you want an AWP player to be doing. You don't want him to be predictable, utilising his spawn, getting to areas as quickly as he possibly can. Let's see where he goes this time. Looks like that 3-man setup going towards B will come in once again. Pasha this time actually joining them. So he's going to be going first. Whether they'll push right down is yet to be seen. As the T's will be waiting on T steps.
Trying to get aggressive again, firing down beneath the pillars.
You know what's cool about this as well? Once they got that control, the smoke down, they know the AWP player is safe at the car there, so he can just leave him to almost anchor that area. And you can see now 3 players making their way back towards A. He's actually going to be going down quite aggressive with this one as well.
So it's the same formation, same issues already, despite the TSM called the timeout. They still haven't been able to get much more map control away from Virtus.pro. All 3 rounds they get came after winning the pistol. So far, yet to win a gun round.
Once again, VP going for this more passive setup. So it seems when they go for the 3B at the start, they actually prefer to allow the T's to come onto the bomb site in this scenario. So looks like the T's will be going back towards B, but this could be a problem for them. Snax has got that AWP on towards the car, and actually does some damage, but falls back. dupreeh goes under 21 HP, and he actually gets himself in a very difficult position now. I'm not sure he should have done this one, but he gets the no-scope, and then Karrakin drops, and then the rest of the guys should take him down, but he manages to get dupreeh as well.
Snax, that was pretty, but now it's cajunb, as you say, to get him back. Leaves Neo in the sight. The fortunate part about Snax buying that much time is means Pasha's also here, and he's going to flash himself in, almost lines them both. But cajunb again has to play the trade. He'll pick up the bomb as well. And in the site, he's alone. He's got Xyp9x slowly getting closer inside Banana, but he finds Neo in the back of the site, which means Taz is smoked off. Although the smoke is dissolving, it means the bomb can also go down. And TSM in a 2 versus 2 have given themselves a chance. And there's no need for Xyp9x to pass through the choke point at the top of Banana. He can play the post-pant position, which means that cajunb just has to evaluate and assess which way the damage is going to come first, whether it's going to be through construction from Taz or from CT in the form of BO3. And there's no need to overextend because Xyp9x has one angle covered. It leaves Taz, who fires a shot preemptively into Emo, tries to get that free fire in, and that gives away his position. So TSM now will get their first gun round.
All came down to Neo then, you know. He was in the back towards Emo there. He had 10 seconds remaining on the board, and instead of just waiting for the bomb to go down, he knew they weren't even going to check at that stage. He went for the glory shot before it even forced the issue, and that was a problem. But Snax, I don't even know how he got away with this. He does the damage first. Most players would have got out in that scenario. Gets a first no-scope, think, okay, that's probably going to be the end of it now. Gets another shot off, and somehow gets that headshot onto dupreeh. That was absolutely nuts. They managed to survive that long as well. But TSM, scrappy round, but they managed to do it.
Money bonus reset, do keep in mind. And with 2 players up, they had to buy in heavily to this one, so it's not like they've stored themselves any money for the next round. It's a must-win situation for TSM. We'll limit them for the rest of the half almost at this point. Not quite, but just about. Flash into bedroom. dupreeh speaks through the crack in the wall, but Karrakin's going to go down to Snax. Pasha follows up as well as cajunb this time can only manage 1 trade. And it does mean another man advantage situation for Virtus.pro. AWP still up on device though.
It's a really nice pincer from VP there. They smoked off the T-steps, flashes towards middle, and somehow Neo has made it into the underpass here. And he's going to get the second mid as well. This could be absolutely fantastic. Needs to hurry up though. You can see the T's actually might run into his crosshair perfectly, yeah.
They need to go now. If they don't, he's going to be on top of them, and Device is coming up middle. He's not going to know it either, but now he's fired. If Device can get around the corner fast enough, they might be able to shut him down. Instead, it's dupreeh, and they have to go fast because Pasha's hot on their heels now as well from Banana. Shots from Pasha. No, rather, excuse me, Taz. As BO3 goes down in the pick, gives TSM a chance, but Taz is still in an open position right now. No smoke in front of him yet on Library. And as he does so and holds them in place, Pasha does show up. 1 kill already and a low HP on dupreeh. It's a reset and 8-4.
Really nice play there from Neo. I thought he was going to get more from that. Got such great positional control. Getting into the underpass, getting him behind 3 players. Only managed to get 1 from it, but Pasha stepping up once again, getting 3 frags and taking his current total to 18 after 12 rounds. That's pretty impressive going forward, but that's going to reset the money for TSM, you know, as well. They're going to get $1,400 after winning that last one. And that's the replay on your screen. 3-man coming in from Pasha, finishes off in style there, but there should be another Rico coming in from TSM. They can't really justify much into the CZs, some Tech 9s, and you're going to be well aware of this as Pasha opens up once again. He's having a great game so far.
Very well done indeed, and now the M4s will rain bullets toward the TSM members. cajunb goes down, and it's left to Xyp9x. Stuck at the top of Altmate, and all 5 stay alive from Virtus.pro. So not only have they reset the economy, the guns will come back this time for TSM, but they've started to build their bank back up. So even if they lost this, they wouldn't break right away and have guns for the rest of the half.
It's not a great buy there for TSM, you know. They've only got 3 rifles here. They've got a Tech 9 and a Galil. Utility's not going to be amazing. No Molotovs, 4 smoke grenades, which is good, but it's going to be difficult to actually get onto these bomb sites. They've been quite slow paced so far. Depends what setup VP are going to present them this round. We've seen a mixture of them. This time it's going to be the 3 players towards the B bomb site again. They've been showing a lot of aggression there. We were kind of questioning what was going to happen there, but it's for full-on rush, it seems like, from TSM going in here. They're going to nade the top and crash it with confrontation there.
Shots rain back down again, but he only manages the one this time. And again, the man who makes the trade, Cajun B. Again, when TSM always seem to be on the back foot, he's the one that's able to find space, although he's been found out by Neo. Neo looks to spray through the smoke, and he will find Device as well. Bad to worse for TSM as they sit in a 4-on-2 with Dupree and Zipix. They have the bomb, but they're limited. Luckily, Zipix was smart enough to sit back toward middle, so they can't be trapped inside this banana position. He'll now go join his teammate, though. But Taz and Bialy don't look to push down mid and trap them. So they'll have a bit of an option to go back. Need this next pick on Snacks, though. If they can find that, Taz will be a long way away from the B-bomb site. It gives them a huge chance, and now they've got it. Dupree, they need to find Snacks as well, and behind the fountain, Taz is just now rotating, so they've gotten at least to the site. And the smoke off on CT will limit Taz's options, but Zipic's going to be the one to go, and he's down by Neo in the end. Dupree, he can't find the shot, and he's bailing out. 30 seconds to go back to A, and it's all gone. The chance they had is diminished heavily. And he's also hesitating on his thought process as well, but when he goes back to B, Taz is still sticking around, and even though there's a smoke on spools, Neo will be able to jump above that. Finds Dupree, not able to find him right away, though, with the bullets eventually does. 10-4, Virtus.pro with a heavy lead right now on Inferno.
Yeah, they're just showing so much aggression towards that B area. They get full control of that. This time, TSM try to bite back with some grenades towards the top there. But the thing is about this game is that Dupree had that 4K on the pistol, right? And since then, he's been quiet. Like, on the T side yesterday, he was really, like, getting into boiler room, finding opening frags almost every single round. And that's what TSM were relying on to open up these bomb sites. When his passive setup comes in from VP, they don't really get that option. And it seems like they're having to work a lot harder to find any frags in this scenario. But now, once again, round number 15, Snacks is going to have the AWP out, and TSM going to be on yet another force buy here. Tech-9s and some utility with the armor as well. But seems like VP are well aware of this. They're going to be facing aggressively down. Snacks towards mid this time and leaving just Neo towards the B bomb site. They really are playing the mind games of telling the teams where they're going, essentially, by just showing so much presence towards there.
These pistols for the last round of the first half have to prevail to make this 10-5 and give them a chance with a pistol to start off round, or rather, excuse me, halftime number 2.
Yeah.
Is 10-5 going to be enough? I certainly dare say that 11-4 is not, more so because Virtus.pro look on their game today.
Absolutely.
And we couldn't really get a read on them yesterday because they played Liquid. We saw Liquid obviously tick down Fnatic today. Maybe that was an indication that it wasn't a joke, but Virtus.pro now have definitely shown us they're ready. What a time to be on form for them. Always just the 4 big events, this one and then the major, if they can hold it together. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Cajun B does at least get one, but they lose him in the end as well. Rather, excuse me, Device. So lose Cajun B and Zipix. Speaking of Cajun, he does eventually die to Taz, who takes down Zipix as well coming out of the apartments, and it will be 11-4.
Really impressed by Pasha, you know, that half, like that big round he had on the A bomb site, and then consistent fragging throughout the series as well. 11-4 after losing the pistol as well. That's pretty crazy for VP. They only lost 1 gun round, and that was that scrappy exchange towards the B side, that TSM won. But Dupree, 7 frags, as I mentioned before, 4 kills on the pistol, didn't really turn up after that. He's one of the key players yesterday.
We're going to wait just a second because apparently Kerrigan fell out of TS. I'll have to put him back into the correct channel, and then we'll get back underway. But Bialy leading the head-to-head.
There's Pasha on 23 frags. I didn't realize it was that high.
That's
I knew
nutty.
it was good, but 23 kills in the first half. That's pretty nuts. You're absolutely right there. So let's look at the other guys. Device with 11 kills. Cajun B with 12 as well. Device had that close to glory round when he got 3 frags towards the underpass there, and there's the scoreboard.
I think Device's lube only really lubed up Pasha's biceps, apparently.
Can he lube up biceps?
I don't know. Pasha probably can.
Yeah?
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. Make them nice and shiny.
Well, here we go then. We will be going into the second half right now. And VP, like you said, really are turning up today. They've been very impressive across the board. Snacks only getting 10 frags, but he has some very important kills himself. And they're controlling that banana area perfectly. They actually seem to be dictating where the game is going and scaring TSM from going into that area. So that's fantastic from them. But going to the pistol now. VP on the T side, they have 3 sets of armor, 2 utility players, Snacks and Neo with the smoke grenades and flashbangs. They have got a Molotov as well on Snacks. So I'd normally suggest they're going to go towards the B site here, smoking off spawns, smoking off coils, and then Molotoving the barrels, and then they can get it. And that looks like what's going to happen here. They get the first frag. Pasha takes down Device. It's going to leave 1 CT player there. The rotations are going to come in. Just going to be Dupree isolated behind the new box there.
Dupree does get the shot onto Pasha. Dupree looking for more as well, and he does find it. So now the bomb's down a third as well. Huge play with the USP, and add it to Kerrigan to close out the round, and that's exactly what they need to start off halftime number 2.
That is fantastic. After they get that first entry kill, you thought the Glock train wouldn't be stopping at that point. Dupree steps up, 3 massive frags for him, and that adds to his 7 total, putting him up to double digits now. So he's gone huge in both pistols in this game, and that's actually a massive play considering they're a man down. Him finding those frags with the silence USP from the new box. They didn't even get the bomb plant in that scenario, so that's great for them, and this is a good start to their CT campaign. You can see them buying up now. P90s, MP7 and Max7 as well. Kerrigan, the only player with a rifle, which could be a problem considering VP have bought up into this one. Forced by with the P250s and the CZ though.
Dupree's going to wait with that P90 as well to make sure that if they try and push into B, they'll just walk into an onslaught of bullets being fired at them. And there it is, Kerrigan again coming in with the FAMAS device. Shotgun in the corner. Almost misses out on that first shot, but they'll still get it. Adding damage to Dupree's ability to take down the last remaining player. They're going to stack themselves into oranges due to the fact that the flashes come in. And it won't matter. Actually, Neo does manage to at least get Dupree.
Yeah,
the device is desperate to find that rifle and can't.
That's actually perfect having the SMGs in that scenario. VP only went for body armor that time, so they're trying to make sure they don't get themselves in a similar position TSM did. Going in with like a little pie on the T half, didn't have full utility and stuff like that. But let's see what they can do going into this one. It should be a full eco coming in. TSM, pretty clean round from them. Let's see Pasha with 24 frags. Going to round number 18 now. It's going to be the full Glock by 1 P250 on Neo there. They haven't got any utilities play, which is almost a throwaway round here unless something goes horribly wrong for TSM here. Kerrigan's throwing a grenade into second mid. The T's spreading out. They're going to be sending the bomb towards the apartments.
Dupree this time will be the one to push down Banana. So they are going to go back to device Dupree on B. VP grouping in mid. Dupree's passive, though, on this B position. Does find Pasha from behind the car, staring down all the way to the entry point of Banana. Now he's got the courage to push forward again, but BL and Snacks are still inside middle waiting for him to do so. Some damage does come in device. There it is, the shotgun. Snacks is very low. That was the headshot that we heard from a distance. And as Zipix takes down Taz, it's just he. And was BL left, but now it's 11-7. TSM slowly crawling back in. This round is when it matters because the guns come up for VP.
Yeah, that's the 3-0 for TSM. Is exactly what they needed. 11-4 in the first half, but 5 AKs coming into us now, and it seems like TSM will be just trying to build the economy as much as they can, keeping the FAMAS, the P90, and the MP and the Max 7. Sorry, and you would assume they're going to do something a little bit more aggressive. They want to try and find that first frag and see what they can do. Maybe stacking heavily towards the B site. So far, you can just see one player making the occasion B's will be working out what he's doing. Finally going towards the A side. Kerrigan, very strong arch player, going to be wielding the FAMAS there.
And this is a strong gamble to keep these guns out, this P90 and shotgun, given that they know the AKs are going to be up. So TSM putting a lot of faith in trying to build their economy as big as possible to get back into the game.
So the device has gone very close up to the sandbags here, holding that tight angle with the smoke, hoping a T will try and flash through and he can get a chance to get the shot off.
As meanwhile, they're working up the top of middle. Snacks has found the first kill as well, and that does mean that they've got to limit themselves at the B site. Device will stick tight, but Dupree's already rotating around, and they're going to push arches. They're going to be a split. They're going to go back. The bomb's still on T stairs. Dupree's going to spot them. He needs to get this first kill. Successful in doing so, but it still means Virtus.pro, and they can catch him rotating back with a flash, his own flash, but he does take down Snacks in the end, and now the split play is limited. Device knows that it's potentially coming as well based on the calls. So he gets back into a safer position in the site, and the smoke will discourage Virtus.pro. And with Neo still lurking on A, they may have an option elsewhere, and he'll take down Kerrigan, and now it's definitely confirmed that they do, and Zipix is already spotted as well. And if this battle doesn't happen quickly, he's going to have 2 other players rotating quickly behind him, but he prevails, and the bomb sits on B. Device with the shotgun, and this is going to do wonders for TSM's economy.
There it is. That's the force buy coming in. Well, not the force, but the force save, really. Getting the P90 and the shotgun working for them, and that's a huge round. You see the money going to be staying strong there. Device with 11k, buying the AWP for Kerrigan as well. He's going to be wielding that towards the arch side there. And now we can see VP, their money has been affected here as that goes 11-8. 4-0 on this half in favour of TSM. And you can see there should be an eco coming in for VP. And here's the play from Dupree, holding that CT spawn, watching for the split here. Actually flashed himself on that one, I think. Actually, no, he's okay. So he came back in and took down Snacks, and then this big kill from Device, making that Max 7 work for him. Okay, the AWP on Carrigan, facing down. Don't get too much intel from that. I think he spotted one player towards the underpass. BGL taking quite a lot of damage there. I think we're going to more of a passive stance now, as they worked out the eco is present.
Carrigan with the AWP does have this set up from top middle. dupreeh again is going to find the opening pick through the smoke as well. BGL goes down. And it's interesting to note as well, again, we talked about it yesterday, they still use the A1s, and this is a position where there's so much smoke play on Banana that it actually still has an advantage where there's no tracers.
Yeah, it's interesting why VP were using the A4s, and they're going for the very aggressive play down there. And like you said, tracers can be spotted, and TSM actually opting to go full A1s on this one. Now Snacks is at the top of Banana, and 3 players will be joining him. So in they go.
Throw that smoke a little bit deeper as well so they can get further into the site before they're spotted, but it won't deter dupreeh. What it does do is allow Taz to rotate around. Device has hurt him, but not yet spotted him, and as he does, he takes a lot of damage. In fact, Neo follows it up, but he's caught in the end. Taz by dupreeh. Neo gets him as well. Has bomb. If he can get this down, it would help the economy. Carrigan knows that he's going to try it and just waits for him to try, and as he walks around the corner, easy shot. Another win for TSM.
Yeah, looking pretty strong right now, but this is where the full buy comes in for VP. Presumably potentially get the AWP here, and they're not going for it. Going for the 5 AK setup, but Carrigan with the AWP still. So far it seems like VP haven't had a real chance into the bomb side. They got locked down with that P90 and Max 7 combo in the first gun round here. You can see dupreeh doing some decent work here. Getting the double kill. Second one from the smoke there. So interesting now to see what VP have available to get into the bomb site here. We saw TSM yesterday, a very passive approach as well, allowing Fnatic to walk up middle, but they're going to be employing the same strategy today. It seems like VP want to be showing heavy presence towards Banana. Smoke will cancel that for a little bit. Will they be pushing through that?
Clever nades from Nubox as well over top of the wooden door. That does a little bit of damage onto Taz, down to 50 HP. Again, though, TSM, as is their trend of late, a lot more passive than they used to play on this Banana. And look how much more room on the map VP have than what TSM had in the first half, because they've got Banana, they've also got Snacks back over toward alt middle. TSM don't even have anyone in Boiler right now. It's a 3-man stack on truck side of A, which means also longer rotation points. And with 4 players in Banana, those rotations are going to have to come in, more so because they're executing onto the site. dupreeh at Orange just one again, and this time doesn't hit any shots. And as a result of that smoke on CT, Device is also pushed out of position. They'll have to play the retake game, but due to the fact that there's fire, it also means that it's a slightly slowed entry and bomb plant from Virtus.pro, and that favors TSM in this situation as Device now tries to work again from construction. And Taz is going to re-smoke towards CT spawn. That'll deter TSM longer, and another shot from Snacks means Device goes down. And how do they assess the situation now? Do they save? I know they've got a lot of money, but
absolutely,
they want us to play the long game right now, and Virtus.pro is only going to have 12. There's still a chance to break them moving forward. They might get caught still. Xyp9x, good kill on Passion, and it'll allow them to get away.
Yeah, just making sure they get out of that scenario. Unfortunately for TSM there, they were holding the B site, and the moment VP went in, there seemed like the flashes hit them perfectly. They were unable to synergize there. Device and dupreeh separated. dupreeh puts the incendiary down. Didn't really do much. He didn't find a frag there. Device trying to retake by himself. As soon as those guys go down with 0 frags exchange, it's almost certain you have to save in that scenario, especially when you have a decent amount of cash in your bank. You want to make sure, okay, let's just take these guns the next round and keep the economy high for ourselves. But Pasha still 25 kills for him. dupreeh seems to be stepping up as well, finally arriving. He had a quiet first half, but having big impact on the second one. 19 kills for him on the board now. That's a decent round for VP. They're allowed to have full Banana control, and you're right. TSM were denied that almost, but that really aggressive play that VP were showing to them. And this time it may be a change of mentality. As 3 players for TSM will be heading towards the Banana area this time. The nades will be going over once more, but VP is kind of waiting there. They're actually expecting this reaction, not investing so many men this time.
Device though with the off, and this does mean that they all often stack up Banana when he has it. Doesn't pay off for him to get the kill, but it does mean Carrigan can secure against Pasha. And we've seen what a threat he was in the first half. So far this half, though, he only has 2 kills. 25 still leads the way, and Snacks getting back to Xyp9x pulls this situation very close and problematic for Cajun.B because he's the only one now in the A site, and he's going to get caught before he can retreat. And Smoke's still in front of Library and Arch, mean TSM have a hard time getting back in. BGL's in great position, but Device comes around the corner just as he looks away and puts the situation back in favor of TSM. Bomb's now down, though, for Virtus.pro. And with Neo hitting the grave, it does mean that it's left all just to Taz, who pops out and catches Device off guard, but Carrigan's there very quickly. And TSM, a save in the last round, and now resetting the round loss bonus has worked wonders. This will actually does mean that Virtus.pro have 1 more buy in hand. But again, playing the long game right now.
They will have a buy there. It's a pretty decent one as well. It's only going to be Pasha that's heavily affected by that one. He's got 2,300. Should be able to get dropped perhaps. So, well, actually, Neo's going for the AWP, so maybe that's not going to happen for him. But let's see what gun he will have this round. But that's a nice adaptation from TSM. They saw that VP got full control of Banana that last round, so they just decided to send 3 men over there, found that first pick, and get another one on the board. So that's 12-10. And this time they will have Karrigan on the AWP once more. Pasha does get a drop there, so we'll be going into this one fully equipped. And once again, they're going for that banana setup. This time, though, TSM won't be having the 3-man setup. Device smokes them off. And planning towards...
That crosshairs placed perfectly, but little does he know it. Dupree will drop out yet another smoke in this boost. This is actually decent. It's so close that Dupree is going to be stuck in that corner. They know that he's close because they heard that smoke bounce just in front of them. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I thought that Molotov would bounce towards Sandbags. Instead, Dupree jumps across it. And Pasha doesn't have the gun drawn to do anything about it, so he will get away from that setup. And another smoke now deployed as well. But there's still 50 seconds, and that's 3 smokes now deployed on the B site. Device and Dupree, they've got fire left, but that's it. And that fire's going to have to come out quickly because they're already walking in. Dupree manages 1, but he's traded. That leaves it on Device, who plays from spools, and he only gets 1 as well. So now Virtus.pro a great chance to place the bomb, and they're going to do so. At least Zipic's able to catch off Snacks, means they can approach the bomb from 2 angles. It's going to be standard formation, Emo and Nubox right now from Virtus.pro. There's decent utility to it. Loose move Bialy out from that Nubox position, and KGB catches him in the transition, and it leaves it to Taz, who gets 1 brilliant shot, and it's low HP on the last 2. He's got a chance, but Zipix holds his composure, and it's going to be 11 now for TSM.
Huge round there. That could have been dangerous for either team. They're actually going to pit VP onto an Eco now, I think. They did get the bomb down to get the $800 bonus, but huge retake there from Zipex. He always does deliver in these clutches, it feels like, and that's a massive round for him to win. 12 plays 11 now, and it looks like the Eco will be coming in from VP, but they managed to get those exchange frags as they went in, and Taz actually had a great opportunity to do this. Gets that first frag, takes a headshot though, gets the kill onto Karrigan, and he just needed to land 1 bullet onto Zipex to close that one out, but Zipex holds his own and manages to stay alive here, but looks like the quasi-buy coming in from VP. Going to have the PT50s and CZ Tech 9s. As long as you keep around 2K in your bank account here, it's absolutely fine investing like this. So they have smoke grenades, but this time not going to be going towards the B-bomb, so I got to be making sure they go towards second mid. And assume they're going to smoke off towards Arch and try and burst up quad together. There it is.
Smoke on either side. And they will run through it. Flashbang did catch them slightly on the way through. Watch for Snacks, though. He could actually be in a decent position here because they aren't playing deep inside the pit. Zipix is forward of it. And KGB, that changes it a little bit. Getting back toward the statue. That means Snacks will have a harder time entering through. Karrigan has the AWP toward Library. And they are going to get directly in front of him, smoke him off. Hits 1 shot at least on Pasha, but there's so much damage being done, and Zipix is able to take down Taz. It's left to just be Ali in the site, not even a bomb plant. And they've got this back. TSM, after a very shaky first half and an 11-4 scoreline, have it on 12-12.
Yep, now they really are in the advantage here. 12-12 on the CT side. It's going to be a pretty decent buy coming in from VP. They have 5 rifles here. Not too many Molotovs. They have got smoke grenades, though. So this is another big round going into this. Round number 25. 12 plays 12. Device actually going to be on the AWP this time. So he's going to be taking that towards the B-bomb side. It's actually quite nice. It's the first time they've done this. It's been Karrigan holding that weapon towards the arch side. Hasn't had too much impact with it. So they're going to see what they can do now with Device changing things up. They know there's been a heavy play towards the banana area. Karrigan's going to be joining him as well. It's actually a complete change of stance here. Karrigan's made all his way down to the bottom. So the idea is here, Device takes the first shot off. The T's try and rush him with flashbangs, and Karrigan should have a clean sweep here with players running past him. That's the idea anyway.
Let's see if it comes to fruition, and Karrigan is known to be good in this position because it used to be he and Zipnix that played the site together, and whenever he was deep, he at least got 1, and that's exactly the case here as Pasha at least gets back into it. It does give Virtus.pro a chance to force rotation. Bomb's still at the bottom of middle as well. And Dupree's the man that's in the hot spot because he has to consider his options right now. Back to Speedway and just wait for the call as KGB and Zipix realize that there is pressure being applied to the top of middle. But Pasha hasn't left Banana, so they still have all of the map available to them. And Dupree thinks that this is going to go back toward A, so he comes back over to help pinch off Snacks at Archway. But in the meantime, As Dupree does get that kill, they're working in toward B, but they're doing it slow enough that after he gets that kill, he still is able to rotate around. Smoke means he's got to go through construction, which also is covered off, but Device with the AWP is able to at least pick up Pasha as Taz tries to spam blindly through the smoke, and it actually allows Neo to walk in and now go for the quick and safe plant. 20 seconds, but he doesn't have it down yet, and Xyp9x is already going to push on top of him, and TSM will take the lead.
Yeah, nice work there. They got the information at the bottom. Carrigan getting down there. Got the one frag. The exchange didn't really work out for them in terms of the who took the advantage there, because it's 4-on-4. I guess technically he does favour the T's in that scenario. I'm not really sure on Inferno how that one goes, but they send the fake up towards Arch. Didn't really make much of it. Dupree took him down, and he knew instantly it was going to be a B play from that scenario. So Device doing great work for the new boxes, picking out the first frag, delaying them as long as possible, and then Dupree able to come in with some big frags. He's actually on 24 now, stepping up. You can see Xyp9x coming in with a backstab to clear things up. The bomb did get planted for VP. That means they get an extra $800 going in there, but it's going to be another quasi-buy here with the P250s, CZ, and the Tech 9. And this is going to put TSM within touching distance of map pointer.
It's interesting that they did go for this actual really light buy, because they were in a position to force for rifles. With the 4-round loss bonus, they were at 42 on 2 players, but either way, perhaps they know as well that it's too soon to throw things away, as it's only 1 round the difference, and Device picking up that first pick with the AWP.
So 4 players making their way up towards the B arch. They've got 2 smoke grenades. You assume that's going to go towards spawn and to the spools there. And they're going to try and burst in with the flashbangs. They have a Molotov for the barrels as well, so that could work out for them. They can get this first frag. This may be viable. We've seen Xyp9x backstabbing instantly almost every single time. They're going to hold them off as long as possible here. Now it's been telegraphed that T's may be arriving.
Smoke covers off that CT connection. Lets them walk in more freely. Carrigan, does he push through it? He's considering it. No, he changes his attention toward construction, and Device and Dupree are going to work right now. Dupree, he's got up to 26 kills total now as Taz last alive, and a very, very efficient anti-eco. Not done just yet as Carrigan walks through and doesn't anticipate the position of Taz. Device will get him, and now you're right. It is very close for TSM. 14 rounds to their name. Only 1 round for Virtus.pro on this T side.
So they wanted to ensure this round they could do the light buy last time. They still have a couple of rounds to play with, so they wanted to make sure they have the full AKs, full Molotovs. It allows them to potentially get that banana control once again. They can go for a full execute in that scenario. They have exchanged frags quite well there, but TSM winning the clutch rounds. But here we go, round number 27. This could be the one that pits TSM onto map pointer. Device still going to be wooding that AWP. He's got a decent spawn as well, so you'd assume he's going to go for that face down to the bottom. Bialy going to be waiting for him, just trying to gain some intel as to whether there'll be smoke at the top there, but Device is waiting out to hear any sound or a flashbang going off before he faces. Here comes a flashbang. He'll probably face as soon as that goes off. There it comes. He faces out. But actually a double flash coming in and actually shoots blind and takes down Pasha. That's fantastic work from him.
Device again able to open up space on the B site. That was Ian Dupree last time that shut it down. They're both in the same positions back inside of Oranges and Spools. Bomb meanwhile is in the hands of Taz. Over toward A, and Neo and Bialy look to fade off of Banana. Bialy's actually going to sit back, just make sure they still have that open to them, because there's 50 seconds, still a lot of options and time to work with. As Taz smokes over on the arch side as well. Carrigan's in a very interesting position. But will not matter, because they eventually do head back to the B site. And Carrigan, although he gets to cubby it, hoping that they'll walk around that corner, and Xyp9x and Cajun B will do the same. It's not going to. It's going to go on to B, and now they'll go very quickly. Device not able to hit the first shot, and the deep smoke again allows one to get by. He still hasn't spotted anyone, now does, and takes down Bialy, and it's up to Dupree to do the rest, but he drops inside. Oranges, a nice shot again from Device. 3 kills in the round, and now Carrigan's arrived. Doesn't quite hit that one through the edge of the spools, and Taz brings this back to a 2-on-1. Very low on HP, mind you, 10 to work with, but the AK, in fact, taps and hits the leg of Cajun B, although he was aiming for Xyp9x, and takes down Xyp9x now. Suddenly a 3-kill from Taz has made the round close, but time's not going to work in his favor, and it will be match point, or rather map point, as we're commonly used to saying in online casts, when it's not a best of 3, but map point for TSM.
So then, we saw VP losing that first frag, Device getting that great flash shot there, and as we saw from the buy, we kind of assumed they'd be going for that full B execution. That did come in. They got the smokes down, the Molotovs, but somehow Device finding positional control on top of those spools and picking up some 2 frags. And then this is on your screen right now. You can actually see it play out. And that headshot there really was pretty sick from him. And that's going to push them onto map point. And the force buy coming in from the teaser. CT's actually going really aggressive here. Kind of makes it to the bench and maybe able to do some big damage here.
Yeah, they just line them up now. Virtus.pro are falling very fast. 2 AKs left, but 5 HP on Pasha, and they've got absolutely 0 map control. So back toward the spawn they go.
Yeah, Pasha on 5 HP as well. They haven't really got much to work with. They're stuck on the T-steps in a 4-on-2 situation. Make it a 4-on-1. Device finds another headshot here. He's been fantastic on his CT half. BGL has got the bomb, but I think this one may be over, Matt.
I think you're right, Henry, as there's only been 1 round on their terrorist side go the way of Virtus.pro. 11-4 at halftime, and now looking at 16-12. BGL walks out, takes damage down to 1 HP. At least hits Cajun on the second effort.
There it is.
But that's it. Dupree, all it takes is 1 bullet. Assassination, 16-12, and TSM have a 1-map lead.
That's a really impressive result for them. After you said 11-4 in the first half, VP looked absolutely electric on that. They was really aggressive, great reading of the game. And then TSM come back over and do exactly the same thing. Really nice adaptive play for them. They started off the AWP on Carrigan towards their art side. As soon as Device picked it up, that's when they came to life. It seemed like it was unstoppable from them. It was absolutely incredible. So great first map, and I think that's what we predicted. I said 2-0.
You said 2-0. I said 2-1. Train's still coming up. That's where it's
become really interesting, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll send it back over to Dick in the desk.
Did he just say Dick in the desk? All right. Anyway,
usually he's not sending away to Dick. He's requesting.
He's talking about you, or he's talking about me? That's the real question. Anyway, so look, it kind of went the way that we thought it would. We knew it was going to be, competitive. But after the start Virtus.pro made, you start thinking, well, only 4 rounds in a half. Put a lot of pressure on the pistol. TSM won it, and then they didn't look back.
I think TSM can really thank Dupree for a lot.
Just going to say, yeah.
Starting off with 3 kills in that T-pistol round, securing that pistol round for them. They ended up going with 4 rounds only. That was because of Virtus.pro applying a lot of pressure in Banana, and then being really smart up in middle. First, they were playing pretty passively, letting TSM actually run into their hands and then just destroying them, and then afterwards playing more aggressively. So always keeping TSM guessing what kind of defense they have.
On the CT pistol, he comes up big again with another 3 kills. So 6 kills in the pistol rounds. Dupree probably doesn't get a lot of credit for being a good pistol player, but that as
also
you rightly said,
under pressure in that situation. CT being there back in the triple boxes, not an easy task when you have people come from left and right.
Yeah, the first half, because of how dominant VP was and Pasha was absolutely going off, I actually was thinking to myself, yep, they've done me again. The one time I don't bet on them, well, it's not even the one time. It's always the times I don't bet on them when they win the big series out of nowhere, like this and miraculously. But there's a reason why I picked TSM to be a slight edge on this map. Now remember, in theory, you look at VP's strength on this map, and when it's on the T side, it's when they're going to get 6 or 7 rounds and really force you to play a hard game. Wasn't even necessary. TSM was just rolling the whole way through. And yeah, there were some close rounds. There was a few that was close.
There was a bunch, actually.
But TSM had really good lockdown defense. If they ever got an advantage on CT, they could really just shut a whole side down.
And it's to their credit because we talked about how good Virtus.pro are on the T sides right now.
It needed to happen in the earlier rounds when they actually got into after plans. And then that was when TSM just shut the doors. Device started getting a lot of first pick to the op. They were putting a lot more effort into actually pushing Banana a little bit. But there was 2 different schools of how to defend, actually. The TSM very, very passive on Banana compared to Virtus.pro super aggressive. And both obviously working out really well.
Well, just while we keep talking, let's bring up the scoreboard. We have got the stats ready.
And that was actually something that yesterday on Inferno we'd noticed when we looked at the heat maps, was that the TSM style was Device and Dupree just played very at the corner, basically. They played like almost the happy MBK style. They weren't ever doing the Fnatic push-down style. So we saw it again in this game, whereas obviously VP, they also love the Fnatic push style because they like map control. That's what they always want to do and get the information.
It's all about the double Ds.
Exactly.
Mate. That's where it's at.
So yeah, for all I gave the credit to Pasha there, I mean, Dupree matched him, had less deaths, and had more assists. So actually, in the end, even though you didn't think of it initially, Dupree ended up being the man of the hour, So, and obviously, this is how good Device is, right? So Dupree was going off. You've seen him going off. Pasha's going off all the time, and then at the end, he just sneaks in with 26 kills. Yeah, no problem.
That's the vibe.
Just do that on the regular. Don't worry, mate.
That's what he does. But I mean, obviously Dupree as well. After what he said in the interview about how comfortably they were going to beat them and stuff. Obviously, he's under pressure to perform at that point. Even if it's just a little thing and it is fun, and it is jokes. Obviously, he's got to set the standards, and he really did. The thing that must be frustrating for Virtus.pro is they've probably coaxed one of the best performances out of Pasha I've seen in a long, long while, and still lost the map after having an 11-4
The one
lead.
guy who never fails at the moment, Snacks, gets 14 kills and gives up 24. Dying almost all the time. The big problem for VP, and this is one of the reasons why, when I looked at the maps, I did predict TSM to win, is because, okay, it's possible VP could have won this map here. But look at their faces when they showed us the camera shots there. Yeah. They weren't like, oh, we were close, guys. You were playing well. Like, let's just get a few things together, win the next map, win the series. They were on tilt. I mean, Neo's usually a really chilled guy. It's the other ones, it's Bialy who's raging, or like Pasha's upset.
Yeah.
You look there, Neo just had that sort of sigh, like...
I think the worst part about it was that they actually started out pretty good on T side. They made themselves opportunities, but it was down, like just down spiral for them going further in that half.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the heat maps as well and just glean some of the patterns that were going on in that game. And of course, so we did see.
There's going to be a lot of B-side action here, guys.
What's up, Navi?
It's Navi and Cash. So, yeah, I don't think we will look at that.
Oh, here we go.
No,
can we have some heat, please? Can we have heat?
Can we turn the heating on? Here we go.
This is like my house, mate. You know, everything's there,
coat,
but they should just put the coat round now, shouldn't they?
We've just been told the heat's been cut off.
Listen, I'm used to this, Richard.
It's what happens.
I'm going to tell you already.
Start paying your bills.
On the TSM side, so in TSM CT, it was all around here. Everything taking place there.
Do you want to draw on the TV? Shall I get you a crayon?
For VP, you saw lots of kills going on up here. Like, they would take over that, and actually that's when... What's funny is normally, if you're the terrorists coming in, even if they smoke that off, you're like, okay, maybe we'll probe through. If you did that, that's when you got screwed, because there'll be a guy actually around here waiting for you to come in, and they were really good at locking that off. So it's amazing how much of the game was based around the B attacks there, because normally you use the B attacks when you can to try and make sure the guy doesn't rotate 4 to A, and then you go back to A again. A's normally the main site you want to hit, and both these teams were like, no, it's B all day long, and they were getting in, but it's hard to hold that B site.
It's hard to hold your banana. So...
It's very easy for me, mate.
Got to do it. Let's talk about the MVP, and let's see who it is. Okay. Drum roll, please. And we need to start putting a drum roll
in, by the way, PGL.
And it's your boy Dupree again. Not a surprise. He's had a couple of MVP performances since we've been here. But it's not just about the fragging that he was bringing up.
If you look at the top and right-hand corner, this is the interesting thing, though. So he's using the M4A1. He was a player who was very much associated with that weapon beforehand, and isn't someone who wanted to change to the A4.
No.
I don't know if he's going to do that on every map, but if you play B on Inferno, that's one of the maps you almost should still stick with the A1, I think, because actually we've seen no one has really figured out how to play that site with the 2 M4s, I think, fully. Like, I think that's a site where if you play in the site through the smokes, I think it's better than the A1.
Because the smokes are down there, you've still got to favour the silenced rifle. You can't just be spraying away, even with the extra bullets. It's never going to be worthwhile because the traces are just going to mean that you're going to get banged out through the smoke and the sight's open.
I think the most important fact, actually, outside of the numbers, is just those pistol rounds we mentioned. First 1T pistol round, they were outnumbered. They were 2-3. Dupree was very low on HP, managing 3 kills with being like down to, I don't know, 15, 20 HP. CT side getting pushed by 4 or 5 people running into the site, being able to get 3 people. It doesn't happen every day. And considering how that T-half went, I think we could be watching a VP winning this.
They could surely have won that
pistol. So Dupree...
Yeah, definitely. The pistol round's vitally important in that. It did turn on that. But we knew it was going to be competitive between these two teams. I think now as we move on to train, there is a new element to the analysis, which is, of course, that psychological element, which is always, it's omnipresent when we're talking about Virtus.pro. Like, how are the team feeling? How's the mood in the camp? How are the relationships between the players? So...
This is the ideal pick-me-up, though. Of all the maps that could be coming now, this is the one you want. Because, yes, listen, I think TSM is very good on this map. They just haven't had to show it very often. But VP are just superlative on this map. And because, like, listen, if they start CT on this map, they'll very quickly be forgetting about all the problems of this map because they'll get a massively... This team can really put up, like, 12 CT rounds on this map. So it's very hard to beat them on train. You've seen even other experienced train teams, like Navi most famously. Even they're like, we don't want to play them on that map anymore. They're too good. So I feel like if VP has any sort of psychological weight or burden from the last game, this is the time to get over it. And also, this is another map where, in his recent, like, reign of terror, Snacks, he's a monster on this map.
Yeah.
Yeah, on CT side, I think he's up on that CT tower, and he's a huge factor up there. It seems like such a claustrophobic spot to be in. You're going to be screwed if people are coming from left and right, but he just makes it work round after round. On the other side, Carrigan, you want to look at that guy playing on the CT side, between those 6-lane trains pretty up front on yard. He does a great job there, keeping off a position, really preserving his grenades, using them really wisely, flashing, making sure that any attack that the T's are coming with is going to be delayed.
Now, obviously, I know this is a hugely side balanced map. You want to be getting that CT side first if you want to post big numbers up. But do we feel that matters when we're talking about Virtus.pro? I mean, they do have these ridiculously good T sides as well.
I don't think so, to be honest with you. Yeah, they do have really good T sides. They keep the gameplay super simple. They just work for that first pick, and when they actually get that, they'll just run out from pop, T main, alley, and just start to swarm the site, basically.
So, with all of that said, predictions, shall we start talking about that? Because I think TSM were looking, supremely confident. I agree, Duncan. That this is definitely Virtus.pro's one of the strongest maps in their map pool. Nobody wants to play them on train. If it wasn't due to TSM's own deficiencies, I don't think we would have been seeing this map today. But there was some must bans for TSM. So, do we still feel this is going to be the emphatic win for Virtus.pro?
Maybe not emphatic anymore because TSM look like they're rolling. So I still think it's going to be a win for Virtus.pro. I think we're going to even it up. We're going to get a great series and we're going to go into the third map. But because it's such a CT-sided map, it could be like this here. Both teams just take their CT side, roll it up, and whoever gets to the 11 or 12 wins the map. So T pistol's obviously huge for everyone. But in general, I think it's how good you are on the CT side, how far you can keep it rolling before someone breaks you back. I think it's going to be VP who just edge it, and we'll go to a third map.
Yeah, the difference between the philosophies of these two teams is like TSM is one of the few teams that actually does a lot of innovation when it comes to train. Spend a lot of time using decoys as fake smokes to fake an outside smoke strat and stuff like that. Virtus.pro, however, very default, just trying to get picks, running with it. They actually one of the teams that you can actually, like a lot of the times you can bank on them getting 6 to 7 rounds on that T side. So I think it's going to be Virtus.pro winning it.
Okay, well, I'm inclined to go with Virtus.pro as well, but I think this could be like some sort of epic 16-14. Like I think
it's going to be super close.
It's literally going to turn on like 1 or 2 mistakes.
Right.
I do think that, but I guess we'll see. Maybe Virtus.pro are going to prove me wrong, come out all guns blazing. If so, we're set up for a wonderful third map. Anyway, thanks a lot for your thoughts, gentlemen. With all of that said, we're now going to throw to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have the second map. It's going to be Train, Virtus.pro versus TSM. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you soon.
But this is where it got interesting. Pasha killing one, headshotting Carrigan as well, falls back, almost got knifed in this scenario, but somehow did take down the second. Responding, getting the bomb down here. Some great play from him. BO3 holding the pits. Takes down Carrigan. That's the first round after VP. So when you can pull off those kind of kills, why not? Neo getting 3 there. Device shuts him down.
In a 4-on-3 post plant, but Pasha's quickly on the scene. And with low HP on the player inside pit, Dupree is going to go down as well. And Pasha's got the hat trick. Because they can't get Banana in their possession. And again, this time with
BO3 and Pasha crossfire there. Device made it interesting with what 3 frags there, but not going to amount to much really, considering he lost the round as well. The force comes in position now. He should have done this one, but he gets the no scope, and then Carrigan drops, and then the rest of the guys should take him down, but he manages to get Dupree as well.
And as he does so and holds them in place, Pasha does show up. 1 kill already and a low HP on Dupree. Dupree does get the shot onto Pasha. Dupree looking for more as well, and he does find it. So now the bomb's down a third as well. Huge play with the USP. He catches him in the transition, and it leaves it to Taz, who gets 1 brilliant shot, and it's low HP on the last 2. He's got